Hi, welcome to another solo episode of Talks with SaraNoSocks. This is the 8th one. Wow, I can't believe that. I've got all the coffee. Are you a coffee drinker? No. Anyway, I just realized that I don't know you, the listener. Hi, yeah. Can we be friends, maybe? I don't know. Do you follow me on Twitter? You should, at SaraNoSocks. This week, I want to talk about how I have been building, driving myself nuts working, trying to get things done ahead of schedule for no in particular reason. I decided to stress myself out. And I think a lot of us as makers do that. So grab a cup of coffee. We're going to chat about it here for a minute. Let me take a sip. Yeah, so I've been working at this thing called Podcast Ops. If you're a listener, you know. If you're new, maybe you don't. So let me tell you about it. Podcast Ops is all about how to template and help automate getting your content to your listeners who are online. So we all know folks listen in podcasting apps, but what about folks that are on Twitter or Facebook or your newsletter or blog or all of those different platforms? We want all this great content to get to them. So I've been working at this process for years, literally years, to try and figure out how I can first own all of my podcasting and second, start bringing the podcast to more people. Not because I'm concerned with vanity metrics in terms of downloads and listeners. Yes, that is important for show growth and discovery. I think those things naturally evolve over time if you're good at distributing your content. So I'm just figuring all that out, right? And I know one way to do that is to get it online and build a website. So I did that on Webflow. And I put together this really awesome template and I'm excited to share that. And then I built this whole database in Airtable to kind of break everything down. And then I tied it together with all of these different automation tools. And so that's what Podcast Ops is. It is not a replacement for any of the steps in podcasting. It is not a production tool. It is not going to help you with your editing. It is not going to replace a human from doing 90% of the work in podcasting. And I think that's a big reason that I almost pulled the plug on it this week. So I've been working at this for a very long time and I kind of hit a wall. Kieran responded to my tweet and said, thanks, Kieran. Appreciate it. If you respond to my tweets, I will answer your questions here on the podcast. Kieran asked why and, kind of like, how did that happen? And when did it happen? So it did happen this week. And the why was I just felt like people didn't understand the product and I wasn't sure they, were seeing the value in it the way I was. And so I thought maybe I'll just scrap it and either not do it at all or make it free. And I thought about that for a good 24 hours, really. I got very frustrated and just thought this is not going the way I thought it was going to go. And then kind of took a step back and laughed because what goes how we think it's going to go? Nothing. Coffee break. So, it was difficult because I've put so much work and energy into this. And I think a lot of people really struggle when you are so passionate about something and you're putting all the work into the product and forgetting about sharing what that product is, like over and over and over and over again. It feels like a lot to the person who's making it. And I think because we understand the value that it's brought us, a lot of these tools that we designed to fill a need for ourselves, obviously we feel like, what is the point? We're screaming into the ether. But if it's new to your audience, they don't understand the value, especially if they're new to podcasting. You would have no idea that this would save you hours of work and has taken years to, figure out how to do because you haven't been in that process and probably don't have an appreciation or realization for how much work podcasting actually is. So for me, it's this is a labor of love and was truly designed to fill a need that I had because I'm really, really passionate about owning my entire podcasting process. One thing, I don't have the money to outsource any of the podcasting steps. I let's be honest, even if it's relatively quote unquote cheap, it's too expensive for me. I don't have funds to pay for transcription services or editing or, studio producing. These are all very expensive things, and nor do I have the, huge download numbers in millions or anything like that would call for me to pay for that. If you aren't owning your entire process, you aren't in control of your content. So there may be things that are being cut out or clipped out that you aren't aware of. If you aren't doing it yourself, it may be edited in a way that you're not super happy with, and that could cause you a lot more grief and strife down the road. And you're missing out on the point of podcasting if you outsource all of these steps. People who are outsourcing these steps are famous and, really get a lot of value from the interviews that they're doing. But they already have, right, their brand and their audience, and they're working on other things. If you're just starting out in podcasting and you're not owning the full process, you're really just going to miss all of the fun that comes with it. Learning how to do some of these things is a little bit tricky, but once you have it down, you're in full control and you can ship a lot faster when you are in control of the whole process. You're not relying on other people to get things done for you. And the content is going to be more meaningful. I can absolutely tell when a podcaster does not do their own editing and do their own content. I'm focused on the content. I want to know the content. And when people are sharing that content and it's real and raw, it's a bit more engaging to me than, high quality and super overproduced and not understanding the point of sitting in such an intimate setting with people when you're talking with them one-on-one and hearing about different parts of their life, and then you're just shipping that off to somebody else to kind of read through the transcript and pull out what they think might be important. So that's my thoughts. It's probably controversial in the podcasting world, but it's just how I feel. So that was the whole reason I developed Podcasting Ops, to help me keep control of my content, and so I don't have to outsource all of that. So a bit of a rambler this week as opposed to the short episode last week. Hey, it's real life. I don't know what to tell you. But that's the long and the short why Podcasting Ops almost didn't happen. I guess this ended up being a whole episode all about Podcasting Ops. So maybe not for everyone, but I think if you're a maker, you can probably relate to a lot of what I'm going through. And especially when you create products that fill your need. And so you're not really sure if there's an audience or a market, but you think there is. That's kind of what I've learned. And that even if the 6 people who have pre-ordered, thank you, are the only people that buy it and it helps save them even an hour of their time, then my job has been accomplished. So I definitely will keep it out there. It is still for sale. And we'll just see. We'll see where it goes. Maybe they'll get some great feedback and I can make some adjustments and just keep making it better. And maybe it'll be a complete failure. We'll find out. I did an amazing interview yesterday with Natalie, who I gave early access to. She was my first customer, and I gave early access to the Webflow template with her, and we walked through everything. So a YouTube video will be coming with that. Behind the scenes failure there. I actually was recording and screen recording, and somehow it didn't record our faces. Anyway, it happens, people. I don't know what to say. So that's what's going on with me. I'm taking time off. I'm exhausted, but I'm working hard to bring you the best product and learning a lot along the way of what not to do next time. So it's all good things. You can follow me on Twitter at SaraNoSocks. You can purchase Podcast Ops pre-order, linked in the show notes below. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you for tuning in, following me on my journey. If I've helped you at all, if you could shout me out on Twitter or write me a review, it would really be amazing. I'm building a shout out wall on my webpage. So definitely would appreciate any shout outs that I can add to it. Yeah, your support means a lot. So I appreciate that. Tune in Friday, another amazing episode coming with another great interview. And then be lining up guests for March. So if you know anybody I should be chatting with, let me know about that too. Until next time, bye.